So what I'm going to take you on now is the bypass to Babyhead Hill. If you want to go up Babyhead Hill, you go up there and up that direction. But just for fun, I'm going to go the bypass and let's see how good it is.
Now before we get to the Babyhead Hill bypass, I've got something to point out. The crux of the entire Washington backcountry discovery route is going up to Clemens Summit in my opinion. This is footage from a previous journey I was on. This is showing what I think the most challenging part of the Washington backcountry discovery route. Even more challenging than the famed Babyhead Hill. This is a long ascent or descent if you're going the other way over some really challenging terrain. It just keeps going and going, and what makes it challenging is you can't stop. You need to keep momentum going through this section. The rocks are loose, and at different times of the year they become more loose or a little more rutted out. This is a long section of going uphill. Of course, everyone talks about how the GoPro doesn't show exactly how steep it is. This is a steep section of the road, and every once in a while you'll catch my handlebars going back and forth when I sit down, and just to see how steep it is. The most challenging part actually is coming up here, in my opinion, where it gets a little more exposed. You have this unusual fear of falling off the edge of the road, even though you don't typically fall off roads when there's no steep drop off. But right around this corner here, things open up a little bit, and you start to get this fear or feeling that you better stay to the right going up this. And that sometimes forces you into unique line choices. And so coming around this corner here is where it really gets challenging, in my opinion, of course. Now you can see here the right side is rutted out pretty good, but your front tire wanders a little bit over these rocks, and you can see me really fighting going up this section.
Yep.
And bouncing around pretty good.
Way sideways.
And I'm on a fully loaded bike, so got all my camping gear, everything's nice and heavy, and so getting up here is a really huge sense of accomplishment. Now, the reason why I talk about this when I'm talking about the Babyhead Hill bypass is you actually have to go through this section to get to the bypass. So you've just finished bypassing Bethel Ridge perhaps, and you go, I want to take an easier route and go around Babyhead Hill. Well, the reality is you have to do what's probably the most challenging part of the WABDR, going up to Clemens Summit. Now, it's not as hard going down the other side of it, in my opinion, but it's also very steep and a lot of loose rocks. So it's just something to be aware of. I wanted to point that out as I'm making this video about the bypass for Babyhead. Now, you can see from this road, as I'm going on the bypass now, that it is quite an easy road. It's almost like a paved road. You got all kinds of vehicles going back and forth, like it's no problem at all. It's a great road, of course, if you're having troubles mechanically or just want to take an easier path. But I think you're really going to miss out on a beautiful mountaintop experience when you're riding through the valley here. It's just not as picturesque. In comparison, the Bethel Ridge bypass is probably a little more scenic. In this one, you're just riding through essentially farmland in the backcountry. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, and if you want to just take a nice, easy road on your trip, then by all means, go for it. But I think what you're doing is you're missing out on something pretty spectacular going up the Uptanium Ridge. Now, I'm not even sure how to say it right. In fact, I saw on one map where it says spelled U-M-P, and then another map there's no P. So is it Uptanum or Umtamum, or I'm not sure. Anyway, you can see here you're just riding through basic ranch land, and there's nothing wrong with that for sure. And it's wide open space, and you can see for miles especially in this section. The country here is pretty dry, and so it's very dusty. And I'm traveling through this in late September, so not a lot of greenery left. And I'm looking up here to the right because that's actually where Baby Head Hill is, and you can see the ridge line there. So you dive back and forth in amongst some trees. There is trees in this section, unlike up on the ridge where it's totally barren. So there's a bit of shade here, so if you're riding in some really hot weather and you might want to duck down onto this path or trail or road into some cooler weather or temperatures. It was pretty cold when I went through here, so you can see me all bundled up and rocking the Hippo Hands, keeping my hands warm. And so late September it does get a little bit cold through here. But it's a beautiful little road, nothing too special, and not many people have made videos on the Baby Head Hill bypass, so I thought I'd ride it, experience it, so I could show everyone what it's really like. So there you go.
This is just basically a country road out in the wilderness. And across the way there, that ridge over there is where Baby Head Hill is. And then you climb up to some radio towers off in the distance. I don't know if you can see that. But this is been a scenic ride, but not very challenging so far. And I think if you come on here, you're going to really miss out on that up there. But if you got short of time or fuel or have a mechanical problem, this road is super chill. So this is the end of the bypass for Baby Head Hill, and if you go up there, that's how to get back on the harder version. The road basically turns into pavement now, and that's the bypass. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you have a great ride.